the session is being recorded.
As the session is getting started, okay guys, before before getting started, I would like you guys to we shall have this kind of rehearsals. Okay, I want this session to be interactive. So before starting our session, right, I will just show you a small flow. Okay, yes, we will get the recording, guys. Okay, don't worry about that. Just concentrate on the session. Okay, don't worry about that. Once the session is ended, you can see in the Meetup website. Okay, so before starting that, I want kind of rehearsals, to be interactive. How interactive you are. I want you to answer a simple question that I am going to show you. Okay, I'll show you a simple flow. Okay, this is just for rehearsals purpose. Again, it is not a quiz question. Okay, so tell me the answer. Type your answers over here so that we can see how we can interact between each other. Okay, can you see my screen over here? Now, guys, can so here assume that the third party API, the HTTP requester external APIs, we have some trouble to connect to it. So we are getting connectivity issue. Now tell me, assume that your responses tab is set to payload. What is the final payload that will be displayed once you hit this listener? What is the resultant payload that you will see in the postman when you hit the request? I want everyone to answer. Okay. So assume that the display names of the set payload are what, which are setting. Okay. 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 I see multiple answers. Good. Thanks for having this interactive session. Excellent. Excellent. So I have, equal answers for both inside error handling as well as after HTTP. Rather, after HTTP is the one which I received more responses. Okay. Absolutely. Those who are saying after HTTP, you are absolutely wrong. Okay. The answer will be inside a main error handling. I will tell why. Okay. So the correct answer is inside main error handling if you want to test it. Okay. Okay, the answer is inside main error handling. We will start our actual session. Okay, why? Okay, let me go through. So, well, you are able to see my screen. Okay, so as we have all this, these formalities to go through slides and all. So I will take you through these slides. Okay, I will give some small introductions about error handling and all. But don't worry, we will have good round of hands-on session after this explanation. Okay, so error handling in Mule4, guys. Yeah. So an exception, what in terms we can define as exception, right? So exception is nothing but when we expect unexpected events, right? So an exception occurs when an unexpected event happens while processing. So before going to error handling, again I wanted to make a point. Okay, whenever you are developing an API, isn't it, success scenarios will be very less. Okay, you will be coding more for error handling the errors and all. Assume that you are creating an API to register any account. Okay, so there is only one successful scenario where if you give all valid details, you will be giving a success response like created 201 or whatever status codes you are setting. But we need to handle many business and connectivity level errors as well. So like suppose the entered details are not matching, like all 400 scenarios. Okay, or the user already existed. So all these kind of errors we need to handle. So our more time will be consumed to just handle all the errors. So error handling is the main part in developing an API. Okay, next. So exception handling is the process of responding to that exceptions when a computer program runs. Okay, in Mule we can handle the exceptions at different levels. So what are that levels we shall see. Okay, you can see here this is error handling. In the Mule palette we can see this kind of error handling where we have error handler, on error continue, on error propagate, and raise error. All right, so at project level, if we are using, we call it as default error handling. Okay, at project level we can use custom global error handler. At flow level we can use on error continue, on error propagate, raise error. Okay, and within the flow at any processor level we can use try scope. Okay, these are the different levels where we can handle the errors. So at project level, we have two things. One is, if at all we are not handling any kind of error, Mule will always have this default error handler to give you the response. And custom
Yeah.
global error handler, I'll show you what it is, so that custom global error handlers is like that. If you don't want to define error handling in each flow or each Mule application, what you can do is you can create a global error handler. Okay, and you can manage all those kind of errors in one XML, and then you can refer this global error handler across all flows. Okay, and at
Hello,
flow
Seven.
level, these are, yes,
Seven, I have one more doubt. What
yes,
is the thing
please,
now? So we
yeah.
have in the error handling and these are will be there. How to handle
Mhm.
in the custom handle that is custom exception handling, like some user defined exceptions. How to that is we can handling in the
That is why we use raise error for user defined errors. Okay, I'll show you that
like
as well. Okay,
yeah, okay,
raise
okay.
errors, raise error are used to define custom exceptions. All right, I'll show you that. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, okay, sir.
So within the flow at processor level, when I say processor, guys, it is a connector. Okay, we say everything as processor. Okay, then we can use try scope for error handling. All right. So whenever there is an error occurred in a flow, this is very important, guys. An error object is created. Whenever we see an error raised, then an error object is created. So it contains many properties. Whenever I say error object, it contains many things, right? Example like error dot description, error dot type, error type. You can see whenever we are debugging, right? You can see what all are present under error object. Okay. So Mule identifies based upon the error type. This is very, very important point you need to understand when you start off, building your APIs. It doesn't, it doesn't go with any other things. Okay. It doesn't go to error handler based upon HTTP status or anything. It always goes based upon error type. Error type is very important in error handling thing. Then it routes to respective blocks that you are placing in error handler. Okay. So what is error type then? What does error type contains? So error type is the combination of namespace and identifier. For example, you are getting some HTTP unauthorized exception. So HTTP is called the namespace and identifier is nothing but the unauthorized. So you should be very careful while defining your namespace and identifier. Okay, whenever you can just use the namespace and identifier if you want to handle some custom exceptions. If you want to give a message, customized exception, you can make use of this namespace and identifier. So it is always namespace colon identifier. This is very, very important. If it is DB related thing, right? If you have any SQL syntax error, then it will say DB colon SQL syntax, where DB is the namespace, SQL is the identifier. When it is Salesforce, okay, Salesforce colon connectivity, when there is any connectivity issues, likewise. And for each and every error, okay, you will have an error type. Even if Mule is not able to guess what kind of error it is, can anyone ping what is the error type it shows when it doesn't know what kind of error it is?
Any
Is
will
it
be there.
any? No, it says Mule colon unknown. Okay, any is the type of exception we are giving. Okay, as a developer you are defining it, but when an error is occurred, right, when there is some error which Mule is not able to find, the error type will be Mule colon unknown. It doesn't know, but still it will give an error type saying Mule colon unknown. That is namespace colon identifier. Guys, clear?
And one
All
more
right.
thing, Shravan.
Yes.
Shravan.
Yeah.
Actually, if you have some DB related exception means some
Hmm. Hmm.
connection failure exception is coming, and that is
Okay.
SQL exception, and
Hmm.
any uh, file not found will be there means file related means file not found exception. That file not found is a exception is a identifier or
You tell me by seeing
uh,
this.
I think it will be file not is identifier for
It is
the
very simple. Yes, it is. It belongs to identifier. When it is DB colon connectivity is the identifier. So namespace, it is very easy for you to understand. Okay, namespace
yeah,
is nothing but whatever connector you are using, right? That is the
yeah,
namespace.
yeah,
Clear? If you are dragging and dropping HTTP requester, and if you see, you can see a series of. I will show you again here. You will see
yeah,
series of HTTP related errors in
yes,
exception handling, right? In the type
yeah, yeah,
search button. So HTTP is the namespace. If you drag and drop the DB connector, DB is the namespace. If you drag and drop Salesforce, Salesforce, or AWS, okay, those are namespaces followed by type of. So generally, identifier will identify what kind of error it is. Okay, just the name itself will tell you. Clear?
Yes,
I'll show you
Shravan,
all the. Yeah,
yeah, Shravan, this
go
is
ahead.
Sridhar. Like this
Yes.
namespace could be anything, right? Like it could not be, it's just a standard naming convention, right? Like we can use any of the names in the namespace.
No,
Like if you are
if
using,
you are
if
using
you,
custom, if you are using custom exception for raise error kind of thing, you can define your own namespace. But for the connectors, you cannot define namespaces because they are already inbuilt namespaces. For raise
yeah,
errors, you can define your
exactly.
own namespace, but for others, you cannot. Suppose, simple
Yes, yes, yes.
example. What is the namespace
Yeah.
of transfer message guide? Suppose there is any, expression error. What is the namespace of that? Can anyone say?
Data view.
Can anyone tell whenever there
Mule,
is
mule,
an
mule, mule.
Mule.
exactly. So other than connector, inbuilt connectors, right? Set variable. If there is any issue with set variable or set payload or transfer message, for all those kind of things, mule is the namespace. Mule colon expression. That is the error when you get for transfer message. If there is any syntactical errors and all, right? Mule colon expression. Clear? I'll show you while debugging the applications as well. Okay, how to identify and all. Okay. Next.
And
Yeah.
Shravan, in the
Yeah.
error type and error dispatch, how can we can get the some status codes, everything? We have to specify that in the internally taking from the status code
Status.
or any. Yeah.
Oh, great. Status codes are always custom. So basically, status codes are only for HTTP related things,
Yes.
right? Only for
Yes.
web server. But
Yeah.
DB related things, you need to define your own status codes, isn't it?
Yes.
Suppose if you want to, suppose there is an example, user already registered. Okay. What
Yeah.
is the status code that we can keep? We can follow some standards. Okay.
Yes.
Conflict 409, you can send it, isn't it?
Yeah.
We can say
Yes.
that user already exists, some kind of conflict. It is you
That is
who defines the status. Okay. In all these
that is
questions, I will definitely answer once we start doing the hands-on. Okay.
okay.
I'll start with,
Okay.
okay,
Okay.
about
Yeah.
each status codes, response and all. You'll
Yeah.
get
Okay.
an idea. Okay. And definitely based upon status codes, it doesn't route to error handling because status codes are only there for HTTP related things. How can DB give the status code? No, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. And as we all know, this is basic thing. Subflow doesn't have error handling scope, right? So
Yes.
it's just flow and a private flow where you can place on error propagate or on error continue inside error handling block. Okay. Subflows doesn't have error handling block to keep something in within it. Okay. Either it is propagate. This is very important point, guys. Okay. Either it is propagate or continue. Mule executes all the components within that block. Suppose you have 3 blocks in on error propagate or 3 blocks in error continue. Irrespective of it is propagate or continue, it will execute all the connectors within that block. Then it will decide what to do. Okay. Remember, the error will route to error handling only if it is identified that error type of that error. Okay. If you're keeping something in error handling like on error propagate and on error continue, for example, there is a connectivity issue occurred in your flow, but in your error handling, you are not handling the errors for HTTP connectivity error type. You are handling for HTTP not found. Then either you are keeping that HTTP not found or not, it is no use because HTTP connectivity is not present. Then it will go to default error handling. So it will only identify by the error type. Okay, that is very important thing which you need to remember. Okay. So Mule 4 has one excellent feature, okay, that so people who are still using Mule 3 and who are new to Mule 4, guys, I know how hard it is to do error handling in Mule 3 because Mule 3, we need to define, all those kind of conditions, org.mule.
Yes.
All these things. But Mule 4 has one excellent feature of identifying the types of errors that can occur within the flow by looking at what kind of connectors are placed in the flow. Suppose in a flow, you are dragging and dropping one HTTP requester. Then automatically, if you place one on error propagate in error handler, and if you see in the type search button, right, you can see all kind of errors that can be generated by HTTP. So this is an excellent feature that MuleSoft has provided in Mule 4. Okay. you can see here now. So in my flow, you can see that there is a database connector as well as HTTP requester connector. So when I have placed some on error continue, right, and I just clicked on the search button, you can see there are many, you can see it is displaying all kinds of DB related thing errors, and also it is also displaying the HTTP related errors that may occur. Okay. Only thing you need to do is what kind of errors you want to handle, you can handle, you can check them. Or if you want to handle any kind of error, if you are not giving anything, then that it is Mule thinks that you are choosing, like, you know, any kind of error it is occurring, just go to that respective block. Okay. But Mule has this this is only in Mule 4. Okay. Mule 3 users, you need to be happy that if you are shifting to Mule 4, right, this is very easy for you. Suppose DB related, we have almost 4 kind of errors only. Okay. Either it will be a bad SQL syntax, or it might be query execution, or it is a connectivity, or retry exhausted. Again, this retry exhausted is its internal retry exhausted. Okay. Not the until successful retry exhausted. I'll tell you again what is until successful. Okay. So this is how MuleSoft identifies the error types based upon the type of connectors you are placing in your flow, right? Isn't it easy? Right? Okay. Now guys, as I have said already, you know, I have created 3 rules to understand the error handling concept. Okay. So these rules assume that you are not having any global error handling things. Okay. Assume that you are doing all this error handling at, you know, flow levels. So if you follow these three rules, then even if anyone is asking you to solve a riddle kind of thing, okay, even if they are giving 5 flows or 6 flows, and if they are asking you the output, you should be able to answer that question. Okay. Just concentrate on these rules. Again, I will show you. Okay. I will show you in the real-time hands-on, but try to understand these rules. Okay. Let's start with the first rule.
Ravan,
Yes.
I have one more doubt. From Mule 3, if you're handling any exception means, we have to using in the project by, we have to using some java.lang, some file not found.
Correct.
So where
Correct.
here, where we need to find out that this type of file not found exception, IO exception, and any customizing exception, that is it.
That's what I said, right? That's what in my previous slide I said. Whenever you are placing some connector, right, in your flow, automatically MuleSoft, if you place on error continue or on error propagate, it will, you are saying file not found, all these things are related to which connectors? It might be SFTP or FTP or file connectors. So if you place file connector in your flow, then MuleSoft will automatically show you file : not found, something like that. I'll show you. Okay. All your doubts I can clarify only if I go to, you know, show your real hands-on, right? Then you can, I can show you there. Okay. Okay. Let's complete these rules. Okay. Then I'll answer all your questions. I will not go anywhere. Clear? Okay. Guys, this is the first rule you need to understand. Okay. Concentrate on these rules. Okay. First rule is, see if anything is present in error handling. That means, suppose you are dragging and dropping a flow, you have defined a flow. Okay. That is your main flow. You always, for any flow or private flow, you will be seeing the error handling block, right, at the below. So see if there is anything present in error handling. That means if on error propagate you are placing, if you are placing on error continue, if it is there or not, you need to check. Okay. Even if there is an on error propagate or on error continue, see that if that particular error type is handled. Suppose there is an error occurred for HTTP : connectivity. Okay. But still you are placing, so according to our first point, see if anything is present in error handling. Yes, I can see on error propagate, but still that on error propagate is having HTTP not found, but not for connectivity. Okay. So you need to consider for rule 1, these 2 points. Okay. See if anything is present in that error handling, and that particular exception is handled with that error type or not. Okay. If not, if the first and second point, if they are wrong, then Mule will use default error handling. Clear? That means if there is no error handling block, or if there is something but still it is not handling that particular error type, then Mule will go to default error handling. Clear? And if your flow is not called by, this is another important point. Okay. If your flow is not called by any other flow, by a flow reference or something, then it will display the default value that is set in the error response of HTTP listener and gives the status 500 by default. Okay. If you are not setting anything manually. Okay. whenever you drag and drop. So HTTP listener plays a very prominent role, guys. Okay, if you go and see in the HTTP responses tab, okay, there will be like error handling configurations. Okay, if you are not setting anything by default, if you are keeping everything as is, then what? And consider that particular flow where the error is generated, right? If that flow is not called by any other flow, then by default it will display the default error handling. This is the first rule of error handling. Again, we can see in the real-time scope. Okay, just these are basic understandings. Okay, this is the rule 1. Clear? Sorry, one second. Yeah. Okay, so if your flow is called by any other flow, again, then it will raise an error to the calling flow. Okay, if there is only one flow, then okay, it is done. You are going to default error handling. But still, if that error which is occurred is called by some other flow using flow reference, then it will raise the error to the calling flow. Okay, this is rule 1. What is rule 2? Now, if some error handling is present in that particular flow and error type is handles, that is nothing but S condition for rule 1. Okay, check whether it is on error continue or on error propagate. Okay, in both the cases, again I am repeating, mule will execute all the components within that error block. Okay, whether it is continue or propagate, it will execute all the components first, then it will decide what to do. Then it should follow rule 3. So rule 2 is very simple. Okay, if error handling is present and error type is handled, then pretty simple, see whether it is on error continue or propagate, then it will execute all the components. Next step is rule 3. Okay, rule 3 is, if the error is handled using on error propagate, then it will raise an error back to the calling flow if someone is calling. Okay, if the error is handled using on error continue, it will not raise an error back to the calling flow, but continue to the next processor of flow reference of the calling flow and continues the further process. In these two processes, again I am repeating, if the error is handled using on error propagate, and suppose your flow is called by some other flow, right? Then it will raise an error again to that particular flow. Okay, but when we are using on error continue, what it will do is it will go to the next processor of the calling flow. Okay, but it will not continue to the next processors of the in the same flow where error is handled. Guys, this is on error continue case where most of them will get confused here. Okay, whenever you are using on error continue, suppose there is a error occurred in child flow. Okay, it is a private flow, and you are handling that particular error using on error continue. Okay, there is some connector after HTTP requester, but on error continue will not go to the connector which is there beside HTTP requester. It will go to the connector where to the calling flow, not on the same flow. This is where most of them will go wrong. Okay, this point you need to understand that, you know, on error continue will go to the next processor of the calling flow, but not to the same flow. Clear? These are the 3 simple rules. Okay, next, suppose you have only single flow. Okay, assume then both on error propagate and on error continue behaves the same way. Instead, on error continue gives the status code as 200, whereas on error propagate gives status code as 500. Why? Because I have only one flow, my error handle is handled, and if I keep on error propagate, right, your flow is not called by any other flow because I told only single flow. So it will raise error back to the caller who is calling this. So then he will get error. Okay, it will execute all the components within on error propagate, but the status code which it will give is 500. In case of on error continue, even you have hundreds of connectors after that HTTP requester, it will not go in the same flow. It will also behave like it will complete all the processor within on error block and go to the caller, but with a success status. So we are saying that, okay, error has occurred, but just continue. Clear?
Can you explain once again, Ram?
Yeah.
That is the first point.
Yeah. You want me to explain again? Okay.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. So what I'm saying is, suppose you have only single flow. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you have a single flow where you have set payload. In the first time, you know, I have shown you one sample flow there. Right?
Yeah.
Set payload, HTTP requester, another set payload after HTTP requester. Then in error handling, I have given another set payload. So in this case, in both in both the cases, whether it is on error propagate or on error continue, according to our rules, what it will do is it will check if that particular error type is handled. Yes, it is handled. Next, it will check what is the type of error handling we are using.
Error
Okay,
handling.
it's on error propagate. Fine. According to on error propagate, what we have said, first we should execute all the components within on error propagate. Okay. Now we have only one set payload in on error propagate. Okay, that is nothing but inside main error handling, which I have shown there, right? Now, on error propagate, it will never decide. Okay, it will raise an error to the caller. Now I have only single flow, so our caller is now myself, the client, right? So it will raise an error, whatever the payload is set there, right? It will raise an error with inside error handling with 500 status, because on error propagate is raising an error. Okay. When it comes to on error continue, again same rules apply. It will execute the inside error flow set payload, but I told on error continue will not continue to the second. Guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So on error continue will not continue to the same flow. It will continue on to the caller flow, right? So it will, even though if you are having a after HTTP requester set payload within the same flow, it will not go there. That is not how it is defined in error handling, MUR4. Okay, it will go to the caller. Now, who is caller? Myself. I am calling from Postman, but it will give 200 status because we are handling the error and we are saying continue. Okay, we will again see. Okay, we'll see in the diagrammatic pictorial representation. Okay, clear? Next, remember this is very important point. On error continue will continue again and again. To your question, Pradeep. Okay, on error continue will continue only to the next processor of the calling flow, but not in the same flow. Please try to understand that. Okay. Yeah. So I'll show you one example. Okay, guys, everyone be attentive. Okay. So there is an error occurred. Okay, you can see on my right side, right? What is the type of error I am getting? Error type. Guys, you can speak.
HTTP
connection.
Connectivity.
So first thing, when you are seeing on my debugger, you can see an error object is created. That's what I have told. Whenever there is an error occurred, an error object is created. Within error, there is description, detailed description, error type, errors, whatever is there. But I told based upon the error type only, the mule error handling will route to the error handling block. Now, what is the type of error? HTTP connectivity. Now first rule. What is the first rule? I told whether if there is any error handling present in error handler, right? Yes, it is present with the combination what I have said, and see whether that particular error type is handled or not. Now tell me whether that particular error handling is handled here.
No.
What is the type of error I have handled? Not found. So rule 1 is breaking. So here it is HTTP connectivity. Here I am handling as HTTP not found. So rule 1 is breaking. When rule 1 is breaking, what will happen? The output will, so it will give default error message with 500 status. Clear with example 1, everyone?
Yes.
Any doubts?
Yes.
Good. Perfect. So let's go to second example. Okay. Now see, assume I am not showing the same debugger, view there. Now assume in all the cases, even now in the hands-on which I'm going to show, all the cases error type is HTTP connectivity. Okay. Now tell me, rule 1. Is it correct?
Yeah, it's handled.
Yes.
It's correct.
HTTP connectivity.
Now what is rule 2?
So
Continue
On
or
error continue
propagate.
or propagate.
Which type of error it was handling?
Yes. Rule 2 is we need to see what type of connectivity, what type of error handling it is, whether it is on error continue or propagate. And next thing is it will execute everything within that block. I told this is very important point. Most of them will think, it is on error propagate. No, it will not execute. No, every set payload will execute here. Okay. Here, what is the processor is there in on error continue? Transform message. What I am setting the transform message, I am setting something like error handled in main flow. Okay. Over rule 1, rule 2 done. What is that? What is rule 3? Rule 3 I told check whether your flow is called by someone or it is only single flow. Here this is only single flow, isn't it?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And what is the error continue? what
It will
will
return
error
to 200. Return to 200. In the
will it go to
Success.
this block? Will it go to this block?
No.
no,
Low.
no,
No,
no.
right?
No,
No.
no.
It
If you
is.
understand this single
It's
point, if
showing
you
you.
understand this, yes, if you understand this single point,
It will
you
go
are
to
good.
the rest of the flow.
Correct. It will go to the caller. That means I am. Okay, I am the caller who is in the list. Okay, it will. So most of them, those who have answered my first question, right? When I have shown you a simple flow, people who have answered after HTTP requester, the reason why it is your answer is wrong is because you are not. This rule is not. So it will not go to the next connector of the same flow. Okay, it will not go to transfer message success in main flow. It will not go to set payload. It will not go to logger. You are ended there. Okay, even if it is on error continue or propagate, if you have only single flow, it will end there. The only difference is, so it will not go there. Okay, the only difference is you will get 200 status. Clear? And in case of if same thing, if you are keeping on error propagate, then it will
We'll
be
get
500.
200.
That's it. Very simple. Okay. So people who have answered after HTTP request, that is the wrong answer. This is the correct answer. Clear? Okay. Take an example of third example. Guys, start with the rules wherever the error is occurred. Okay. Now I will explain you just before answering, right? I will explain this, then you can answer because there will be like multiple people speaking at a time. Okay. So assume that I am having a main flow and a private flow. Okay. Child flow, consider it as child flow. Okay. You're calling private flow using flow reference in main flow, where your private flow is having HTTP requester. You are calling some third party API. Okay. You're calling some third party API. Now you are having HTTP connectivity issue. Okay. Now, according to rule 1, so first rule 1 is whether your error is handled or not, or if there is anything inside error handling block. Yes, I have something in error handling block that is nothing but on error propagate, and whether error type is handled or not. Whenever we say type as any, that means any error is occurred, it will go into that. So it is handled, right? Second question,
Yes.
second rule. Okay, rule 1 is good. Rule 2. So it is error propagate. Okay. Now what that you need to check according to rule 3. So it will execute. Okay. So what is there here? 1 second. My thing is, I cannot see. So what can you see here? Error handled in private flow, right?
Private flow.
I can't see that part because I'm sharing my screen. So it will execute the transfer message. Now your current payload is error handling in private flow. That is your latest set payload. Okay. Now, what is the next rule? Rule 3. See if your flow is called by someone, right? Yes, it is calling, right? It is calling by main flow. So now what it will happen? It will go to, now this is error propagate. So it will raise an error to the calling flow. That is our rule, right? Now it will raise error on the flow reference connector. Okay. In flow reference connector, you are getting that error. Again, now you should start those 3 rules again here in the main flow. Okay. Again, rule 1. Yes, it is handling. Okay. You are getting HTTP connector. You are placing some connector. That is nothing but on error continue. Okay. Rule 1 is good. What is rule 2? Okay. This is on error continue. Next, what I have said, whatever connectors are there within the flow, that within that error block, it will execute. Now, current payload is error handling in private flow. It is overridden with this transfer message. What is that? Error handled in
Main flow.
main. Now tell me, what is the third rule? Third rule. Now, is this flow called by someone else? Is this flow called by someone else? No. This is the latest, right? So now it will not go to this part. On error continue will never go to the next processor of the same flow. So now what is the latest set payload value?
Handled in main flow.
200 sets.
Okay. Are you clear now?
Yes.
Everyone?
Yes.
Shravan?
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. If in main flow that on error continue is not present, what happened?
You tell me. So who is that? Who is that one who is asking this question?
Utsav.
Utsav. Hi, Utsav. So you are saying that, Shravan, what if error continue is not there in main flow, right?
Yeah.
Default error.
Go by rule 1.
Okay.
Default 500.
default error handling is execution. Execution is
Default
there.
instance, again there will be confusion. So I told everything what you are setting in HTTP listener responses tab, isn't it? When I say HTTP listener responses tab, if you are setting the payload to payload, then what is the latest payload till here in the main flow, guys? Till this
Error handled in private flow 1.
Yes, that is the latest set payload value that will be displayed on the column, because that no payload is overridden. Default error handling will give only the description, but there is no default payload, isn't it? So your latest error handling, latest set payload is error handling in payload. That is what it will display at the end. If you are keeping in your HTTP, I will show you what is HTTP listener responses tab. Okay. But to your question, the answer will be the payload that will be displayed in postman will be error handling in private flow. Anyone
One
has
more question.
on this one?
One more question.
Yeah, also. But just
Shravan, actually, if on error continue is at app level, like global error handler is there, then it will go
then
to
it will go there.
Go there.
Then
Okay.
it will go there and execute all, and it will follow all the rules.
Okay, fine. I'm good now.
So before explaining also, when I said, right, these 3 rules are assume that there is no global error handler, right? I'll show you also what if there is, what if it is, global error handler. Okay. Clear till here, guys?
Yes, Shravan, I have one doubt. Like it's not like a doubt, kind of information I need. Let's say private flow thrown on error propagate, and in the main flow we caught that sorry, it's only there's only one error, that is on error continue. In the main flow we got that into error handling, and we have that kind of type, and we catch that type, execution came into the block.
Okay.
So now after having some custom logic, I would like to execute the rest of the flows after the error is caught. But generally mute does not allow to continue the next processes once the error is caught.
Yes.
But after catching the error in the error handling section, I would like to call those processes.
Okay. Okay.
So what is the best suggestion? Like
what is the best suggestion? Then I'll tell you. Then
we can
such scenarios we can use try block instead of handling at flow level, right? Whenever you want, suppose whenever you want to move to even if you are getting error and still you want to move further, what you can do is you can keep your flow reference in the main flow within try on error continue block. That will make you to go to the next process. I'll show you try blocks also. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I also have a question. Let us say if there was no on error propagate on the private flow, and we just had the on error continue on the the main flow. So how will a default error handler behave? Will it behave like on error propagate only?
No, good question. Very good question. So Harneet is saying that. Yeah, can you hear me?
CRM India. Okay, where it is?
Yeah. So
where
Harneet
it
is saying that. Hello, can you hear me, guys?
I think someone needs to go to
everyone plays mute.
Yes, guys who are not speaking, please go on mute. Okay. So Harneet question is, when there is no error propagate, that means rule 1 is breaking in private flow. Okay, guys, can you hear me? Or
yes, Shravan, could you please repeat the question again? Like there are a lot of disturbances coming in between.
Yeah. So Harneet question is, in private flow there is no error handler. Okay, that means rule 1 is breaking. There is nothing in like this particular on error propagate is not present. He said assume that there is no on error propagate in that error handling. So he's asking what will happen. Now tell me, rule 1 is breaking. Okay, according to rule 1, if it is breaking, what we have said, like in rule 1, if your flow is not called by any other flow, it will go to error handling. But if your flow is called by some other flow, it will raise the same error to the calling flow. So in this case, okay, what extra thing will not happen is error handling in private flow will not execute. Okay, it will go to the calling flow. Okay, it will go to the calling flow. So you'll get an error in the flow reference of main flow. Then as usual, it will go to on error continue and it will give error handled in main flow. Clear? Does that answer my question?
Yes.
So are you saying like even if we don't use on error propagate, it will go back to the main flow and
That's it. Yeah. Calling flow will always have priority. That's why
the same thing will
in
happen
all
there?
my rules, I am mentioning very clearly two things. You should check two things, whether your error raised in that flow is called by someone or no. So now if whatever Harnit is asking, suppose for example, what if on error continue is not there in main flow? Okay. Then your flow is not called by any other flow. So your caller is the caller. It will go to default error handle. Clear?
Hi,
Yes,
this
got
is
it.
Raji. I have one question. Instead of having the on error propagate, if we have the on error continue in the
Private
subflow basically, yeah,
private flow.
flow.
It is not the problem. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. So what will happen in that case?
You tell me, buddy, rules. I want
Uh,
only
I think
Rajiv to
uh,
answer. Okay.
yes. If I as per me, I think the blocks after the calling reference flow one should get executed. Because on error
That is
continue
what
will.
our rule, right? According to rule 3, what it is? If it is on error continue, it will go to the next processor of the calling flow. That's what I have given you here, right?
Yes. So just wanted to check. Yeah.
So what in the second point you can see, if the error is handled using on error continue, it will not raise an error back to the calling flow, but continue to the next processor of flow reference of the calling flow and continues further. Does that answer your question? The second point?
Yes.
Yeah, Shravan, Sachin this side. Could you please go to that particular picture? I just have one question.
Okay, I will go once. Okay, once animations will take time. Just bear with me.
Yep. Yeah, the next one. Yeah, this one. So I have one question. Suppose own error propagate in the private flow is not present at all. Okay. So as you said, the default error handler will come into place and it will, raise the error to the calling flow. Correct?
Correct.
So
No, when it is in private, when you are in private flow, right? It will not call default error handler. First of all, it will go to the, see, again, there is this precedence. Okay. Let me go that. Let me go to the slide. I think I should have told that first. Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay. Let me go with that slide so you will understand. Okay. So priority, error handling priority. Okay. So error handling has its defined precedence. Okay. The error that is handled at connector level takes the first precedence. Okay. Suppose that means if you are having try block, right? First it will go to try block. Even if you are having global exception or flow level exception, no, it will not go. It will go to first try level, followed by next flow level, then followed by global level. And then finally, if there is no global also, then it will go to default level. So in your case, here you are saying that if there is no error handling in private flow, that means on error propagate is not there. There is a rule like still your flow is called by someone. Okay. Here the error is occurred. Okay. Here the error is occurred. Then it will go to the calling flow because you are using flow reference. Okay. It will go there again. Then rule 1, rule 2, rule 3. Okay. Can we see hands on? That will be better. It will be more easier. Okay.
Yeah, please.
Guys. Okay. So
Shravan, one question.
Yes, Shravan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, please.
We are having the HTTP connectivity issue. For example, say as of 90 seconds connectivity issue. At the same time, the flow got the timeout exception. Which exception would it take? Connectivity error or
Flow got the timeout flow. Does that flow have time exception?
No. Yeah, for HTTP listener, there will be some time.
Okay, you are taking response timeout. Okay.
Yes.
So whenever someone is calling you, okay, if you set some response time in your HTTP listener, suppose say within 5 seconds, right? Within 5 seconds, you are expecting a response from the user, isn't it? But
yes,
you are saying it is taking 30 seconds for your HTTP requester to call, isn't it?
Yeah.
So irrespective of whatever is going inside in your mule application, response timeout will always show internal timeout exception, because it is not, so within 5, it will, your mule application is active only for, that thread is active only for 5 seconds. Okay, after 5 seconds it will automatically give to the caller saying like timeout exception. That happens in many use cases, right? That is why we usually increase our timeout exception in the listener side, correct?
Yes. Yeah, for example, if response timeout is also for 30 seconds, we got a connectivity issue and timeout exception both at the same time. What will be the error handling? It will be the timeout exception or connectivity exception?
How can that happen? See, you are triggering the request. Okay, your first second started. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 30. Okay, so again you are saying HTTP requester takes the same 30 seconds, but still there will be a lag, right? Between the milliseconds lag at least, right? Between this thing and that thing. So always I think it will give response timeout only, even if both are 30 seconds, but going from one processor to another processor, there will be like millisecond this thing also. Okay. Yeah. So it will take the precedence.
Yes.
There will be no overriding of the error, right?
No. Only one error will be there at the end.
Okay.
Shravan?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a doubt. Like, if the private flow has no error handlers defined, then the private flow is similar to a subflow, right? There will be no difference between them.
Exactly.
Okay.
Perfect. That's why whenever you design an API, you should be, having some, we should have some basic things, if there is no error handling, what is there in having, private flow is always again best practice. I'm not best practice, but suppose there is this thing. Okay, your private flow is having some functionality called select operation database. Again, there is different things. Okay, still there is no error handling. You are saying, Shravan, when there is no error handling, why can't we use subflow? Suppose this private flow is called by some data weave lookup, right? Data weave lookup function is there, isn't it? That from transfer message we can call, that whenever we are looping, right? Whenever we want to map, each value want to get that from. So in that case, you cannot keep subflows. Subflows won't accept lookup, right? Because subflows doesn't give response back. It is like, this thing. So in that case, you might need still private flow, correct? So it's always good to have a private flow and error handling. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
guys, for all your questions, let us try doing some things. Okay, this is the first error handling. Okay, just answer the question. You don't answer because it will give, there will be echo or this thing. Just type your answers over the chat box. Okay, I'll ask the questions. I'll clearly explain. Take your time. Don't be in a hurry. This is not quiz questions, and you will not get vouchers for this. This is first just your understanding. So don't be in a hurry to answer. Okay. Now in this case, and most of them I am telling, right, what is responses tab? When you click on HTTP listener, if you see responses tab, okay, guys, again, two things. HTTP responses tab will be different when the flow is generated using RAML and when the flow when you're dragging and dropping this HTTP listener manually. Can you tell me what is the, so when you generate flows using RAML, this is how it looks. Okay, responses tab, everything payload, and even the status code, right? Here it will be vars.http status. But when you manually drag and drop, I'll just show here. When you manually drag and drop here, by default, the listener will have something like this. Okay, error handling will say output explain error.description. Okay, this is the default when you manually drag and drop the listener. But when you generate the flows using HTTP listener, there you can see multiple things. Here it will show payload. Okay. Here it will give status code as vars.http status default 500. And this is the error response. Okay. Here in the successful response, here it will say vars.http status default 200. So it varies. So before starting your code, just make sure, see what is there in the responses tab. This is very important. Okay. Just don't go blindly and start your, building your flows. Clear? Now, okay. Assume that the value is set, the value that is set in responses is payload. Okay, error response is payload. Assume that you are not able to connect to this external API. Okay, now there are 3 set payloads, one before HTTP requester, one after HTTP requester, okay, one inside on error propagate. Assume in all the cases we are handling any. If you are not giving anything, guys, and someone asked, right, how can we identify in Mule 3 we have this, in Mule 4 how can we see? If you see in on error propagate, you can see in the type. If you click on this search button, you can see the type of errors. So how many connectors are there here? Set payload and HTTP requester. So for a HTTP requester, these are all the type of errors that might occur. What is this expression? So in set payload also sometimes there might be expression issues, right? So for that thing, it is having expressions. So in this way, you can select your thing. If you're not selecting anything, then your type is any. Okay, clear? Now tell me, guys, I am using on error propagate. What is the output when I send the request to the listener?
500. It's written 500.
With status.
500.
500.
Please chat.
500
Okay?
inside
Please
main
chat.
error.
Please chat. Please chat. Excellent. Excellent. So 500 with what is the set payload value? Percentile 00 Ramaswamy. Okay, good. So I'll just run. Okay, I'll just run this. So it gives HTTP status as this one and inside main error handling. Okay, so let me debug. That will give more this thing. No? You will understand how it goes step by step. Okay, now tell me further. Okay, first question is done, guys. Okay, now tell me for on error continue for the same case with payload and status. Same Santosh, you are
inside main error handling.
Good, good. Don't please chat. Okay, please chat. Because it will give a conflict between each other. So I can't hear properly. Good, 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 good. Excellent, 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 excellent. So, okay, once it is deployed, I'll show you like basic rule 1, rule 2, rule 3 kind of things. Okay. For 1, 2, 3. Yes, everyone is absolutely right. Okay, application is deployed. Now I am saying I am sending the request. Okay, here I am getting an error. So according to my rule 1, okay, according to my rule 1, see whether there is something present in error handling or not. Yes, there is something present. Okay, see whether error type is handled or not. Yes, error type is handled. Now my rule 1 is correct. Now in rule 2, see what is there, error propagate or error continue. Error propagate is there. Okay, this is for error 1 scenario. Okay, guys. Okay, this is error 1. Error propagate is there. Okay, then I told it will execute all the components within that error propagate. So my set payload is set to inside main error handling. Okay, it is done. What is the third rule? Error propagate. Is your next third rule is your flow called by anyone? No, the caller is the caller. Okay, the postman is the caller. Now, so it will raise an error back to the caller with 500 status. So now you can see it is raising back an error, and this is the latest set payload that is set over here. Same likewise, if I hit second one, okay, we have error. Rule 1 is okay. Rule 1 is done. Okay, that is why it is going down. It will execute set payload. Okay, rule 2 is it will not go to the next processor of the HTTP requester because your flow is not called by any other flow using flow reference. Okay, so it will not go to after HTTP. You can see here, it will end there. It will give insert main error handling with 200 steps. Clear? Now, we shall go a bit advanced thing. Okay. So let's see how flow references works. Okay. Okay. You are not seeing. Are you able to see, guys? Everyone? Okay.
Shravan, Manisha here. I have one question before we proceed.
Yes,
let's say I am not setting a payload in that error handler. Okay, I'm just giving some logger statement. So in that case, like what will be my payload? Will it be default?
For your question, I will try to show in hands-on. Okay. Let me do that.
Fine.
That will. So Manisha is saying, what will happen if she is saying like here it is not set to, sorry guys, payload, right? Okay. So in the responses tab, this is what you are saying, right? In the responses tab, you're not setting to payload, error response. Suppose I am setting payload as something like Shravan. Okay. Guys, tell me what will be the answer? Chat box. So whatever you are giving in the set responses tab, that will take the main thing. Okay. So here, okay, there is an error occurred. Okay. Still, guys, still this payload will be executed. Set payload is executed, but in the responses tab, as I am setting the payload, some value, it's not just payload. You can set anything. Okay. As I am setting Shravan, it is giving Shravan. Clear, Manisha?
No. That on error propagate, I have given the set payload, right? Let's say I don't have set payload there. I'm just logging the statement. I mean, logging the message there. Just logger.
Okay. Clear.
Okay. So in that case, I think it will be default error description, right?
Very good question. You should answer that. Guys, you can start answering. So Manisha is saying in the responses tab, still it is payload. Okay, not Shravan. Right, Manisha? This is
payload. Right.
This is payload. Guys, answer.
Same as written by Mule.
No. I am getting very correct answers.
Before HTTP.
Exactly. Because that is the latest payload which is set, right? Manisha?
Okay.
The latest payload, whatever payload. Now your another question should be, Shravan.
Yeah, if that is not there, right.
Now tell me.
Then it will be null payload.
So that will be, okay. See, now there is a logger. It will execute logger. What it is showing, guys? Why? Because this is the body I am sending. Even most of them will have this perception. For get methods, we cannot send body, guys. Okay, we can send bodies. Okay, if you don't want to send, now in this, okay, I'll just execute. Okay, what is that you are getting? Nothing, empty. That is null, right? We cannot say null also. It's like empty payload. Payload is empty and payload is null are two different things, right, guys? Yes. No. Yes. Yeah. So that is why you should always be very this thing. You should always keep something like default values or something. Okay. You should be very cautious in doing that. Clear? Does that answer my question, Manisha?
Yeah. Got it. Yeah.
Okay. Guys, let's go to
one more question.
Yes, please.
Actually, there one on error propagate is there for the type any. If there is one more error handler block like on error continue is there in a private flow with the specific type of error like connectivity error. So what is the precedence order which will be executed?
Excellent. Very good question. So you are saying, suppose here there is, if I keep this first, right? We cannot do that. Let me do first like this. First precedence. It's like choice router, right? It's like choice router, choice error handling, choice router. Tell me in choice router, if you have two conditions satisfied in two targets, where it will go?
First match condition.
Which match?
Srikanth, will it go to both?
No. First ever match condition, which is true.
Yeah. And after going to first condition, after completing, will it go to second condition?
No, only one first only.
Very good question. There is, there was in real time projects and all, people have faced that. Okay. They are keeping like, you know, they are modifying. So here they told like, you know, HTTP, suppose on error continue. Okay. They are keeping HTTP connectivity here. Okay. Then they are keeping another kind of on error propagate or whatever it is here. Okay. One second. Here. Okay. Then they are keeping as any here. Then client was asking, suppose they have set some payload with, you know, something like, okay, inside error handling. Okay. That is the payload he was setting. Okay. So what he had told, client was saying, you know, no, please change. It doesn't look good. Please go ahead and change some value to, you know, error occurred. Please continue, something like that, some payload. So what he has done is he went and changed here in any, right? So even if you are changing here, it doesn't affect. It will go to first HTTP connectivity. Clear? Does that answer my question? Cool.
Yes, sir.
So guys, yeah, let's go to try block, right? What is try block?
Try
What
block
we are doing
means
it?
it will be checking within the condition from the try to the based on
Connectors,
the exception.
basically
And
connectors.
exception will be taken.
Yes. No. Try block is also same way. Okay. Let's follow the same rules. Okay. First, I will show you this one. Okay. Just see here. Okay. See this, there is a flow. Okay. We shall follow the same rules, guys. Same rules are applicable even for try block. Okay. Just try to understand. Before answering the question, just try to understand how it goes, because try is again new concept here, right, for us. Let's see what is the error 3. Okay. I will call error 3. Okay. Now see, error has occurred in the try block. So try block, what it will do is you can use this try block at connector level. You can keep 1 connector, 2 connectors, or 3 connectors anywhere. Okay, it is at connectors level. Okay, so you got the error, isn't it? So I told again and again, for every type of error you will get error type. So what is the HTTP connectivity? Now follow the rule 1. Is there any error handling here? Yes. Is the error? Yes, right? So next thing is it will go to here. Okay. What rule 2 is it will execute everything. That means now the latest payload will be inside try error handling. Okay. What is again error propagate, right? So error propagate, it is raising error to the caller flow. Who is your caller? Your try block. It is raising error again here. Now again follow the same rules, right? Now there is an error occurred here. See if there is any error occurred, any error handling is done at here in this flow level. Yes, there is some error handling. Okay. What is the next step it will do? It will go to, sorry, F6. Okay. It will go to on error continue. Okay. Then it will execute inside main error handling. Now, will it go to after HTTP, guys?
No.
Because your flow is not called by anyone. So
yes, Shravan, what if in place of on error propagate we have on error continue inside the try?
We'll keep one by one. We'll keep. I'll show you all cases. Okay. That is a good question. So I just wanted to show you this first, so you can see inside main handling. There is no use if you keep on error propagate in a try block, guys. Worth waste. Try is something which you are using to, you know, catch the errors then and there and continue the next processes. Okay. What if there is no, it doesn't make sense if you are keeping on error propagate, isn't it, guys? Agree?
Yes, agree.
Right? Yeah. So whenever you are using flow for each loop or batch loop, right? For each especially. So what is for each scope? Suppose if you are having 10 records, if any of the records is failing, it will stop the execution of the flow, right? For that to continue, what we can do is we can keep try block within on error continue, so that all records will be processed. So I will delete this on error propagate. Okay, before deleting it, instead of deleting, what I can do, I can keep on error continue here at the top. Okay, let me do this. Okay, now tell me what will be the answer
after HTTP?
Chat box, chat box. Good. Correct. So it will go to the next processor. Here the rule will be amendment. As this is try block, okay. And one more thing, there is no rule change. There you should be asking one more question. Okay, let me just try this. Okay, okay, try block. Okay, go into next processor. Continue. Then it is handled and it. Now tell me. I'll show you one thing. Answer that question. Okay. Answer the question, guys.
Yeah, it will go to after HTTP. It won't go to after try.
Okay. Yes. Good. Good. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Error has occurred. Okay. Guys, our rules are, we are following the rules, right? My rules are varied, right? What, according to our rule, on error continue will not go to the same flow. It will go to the next flow. Clear? Any doubts
Yes,
here?
yes. Yeah, correct. Absolutely.
It will never, this rule will never break. Okay. After try, it will not go. So guys, whenever you are coding, right, be specific to keep, if you are keeping this connector here, no, it doesn't make sense. Even if you are keeping 100 connectors after this HTTP requester within try block, waste. So you should keep this here, right? Guys, clear?
Clear, Shravan.
Yes.
It's very good.
Yes, Shravan.
Now one last thing we shall do. Okay, one last thing I wanted to show. You should answer. Okay, just stop. I'll give a breakpoint here. Okay. Now one last thing. Answer this question. Don't answer it aloud. Okay. Sorry. I'll show you the flow. Tell me the answers. Don't be in a hurry, but try to give the correct answers. Okay. Okay. Now tell me. Okay. I think. Okay. I just wanted to show you here is, okay, this is the main flow. Okay. This is calling with flow reference. Okay. Try block here. I'm using try block here. On error propagate, on error continue. Clear? Tell me the answer. I know the view is, okay. Let me put this. Can you see better? Is it better? Just type, okay. So just to show, before HTTP, okay, forget it. Flow reference is there. Here on error continues. Okay, this is after HTTP. I just wanted to show here this part mainly. Okay, inside main error, inside I see after HTTP inside main errors. Okay. Okay. Inside main. Okay. After HTTP or HTTP. Shall we go by rules again, guys? Yes. Can we see? Most of the answers, we have both correct and wrong answers. Let's see. Okay. Error handling 4. Let me put a breakpoint over here. Okay. Okay. So I am sending the request. Okay, your request is here. Yes. So before HTTP, now my current payload is before HTTP. Okay, just concentrate. It is going to flow reference. Okay, now it is going to the try block. Okay, there is a connectivity error occurred. Okay, you can see my error type is on error HTTP connectivity. Okay, now according to rule 1, if there is anything within error handling, yes, it is there. Okay. Then go in, is that error handling type handled? Yes. If there is nothing, that means it is handled. Okay. Then go to this. According to rule 2, it will execute all the values within that particular, all the connectors within that error handling block. Yes. And it is a on error propagate. So on error propagate will raise as an error. Okay. Now you are having an error here in your flow, private flow. Now, is there, now again rule 1. Is there anything that can be handled? Yes, there is on error continue. Yes, the error type is there. Okay. Now, rule 2 was to execute the all components here. So your value here is inside private flow error handler. I told you there is a rule. On error continue will go to, if it is on error continue and you have handled that error, and if there is any other flow that is calling you, it will go to the next processor of that calling flow. Right, guys?
Yes.
It will not raise an error. I will show you that point as well. Where are my rules? So here I am mentioning, if the error handled using on error continue, it will not raise an error back to the calling flow, but continue to the next processor of flow reference of the calling flow and continue further process. Anyone has any doubts? So whoever answered after HTTP with 200 is perfect answer. Any doubts here? Yes, no. Am I audible?
Yeah, no doubts on.
Perfect.
Yes, we are
Clear?
good.
Right, Sharon. Yes, for clear.
So
Yeah, we are good now.
are these rules helpful for you? Okay.
Yes.
Now let's see raise errors. Why I'm concentrating more on error continue and all these things are because those are the ones which we are using mostly, right? Now assume that you are having some global element, okay? Global error handler. Let me show you here. Okay. You can see I have a global element. So you can see I have a common error handler. This is a global error I told you, right? I have a common error handler. Again, this is not kind of quiz, okay, guys? Just concentrate on it, okay? To have this global error handler, what is the connector? I mean, you use, this is the error handler, right? This is the error handler where I am showing here, okay? So this is the global error handler where we, instead of, doing at flow levels, for all application level, we are placing it here, okay? Even if you are having this global error handler, that is not enough, okay? You need to create a global element called configuration where it will automatically show if there are any global error handlers, right? It will automatically show in the global error handler and click OK. Okay. Now tell me, I am removing this on error continue. Okay. See how it will behave. Okay. Just observe. Okay. So whenever so documentations, certifications, everything is fine. But if you're not understanding in the real-time concept, it is worth waste. So just to understand more, this is kind of riddle, right? We are playing like a game. So just try it. Okay. Now error 1, I am hitting it. Okay. Send it. Okay. There is an error occurred here. Now see what will happen. Okay. So as there is no error handled here, rule 1 is breaking. Okay, I told when rule 1 is breaking, it will go and check if there is any. So this is the precedence. First, it will check at connector level. There is no try block. Okay, there is no try block here to handle within HTTP requester. Okay, what it is checking next? It is checking within the flow. Is there any error handling? No. Then it will check if there is any, a global error handler defined. So as this is the payload, last payload which we are setting. Okay, as this is propagate, done.
So if global error handler is
global error handling is having on error continue, what will happen? Is that question correct?
No. Okay. Yeah, that's, I mean, that will go to the caller, right? The postman, right? So one thing I just want to ask, suppose if global error handler is still not there, so it will call the default one as per the precedence, right?
Correct. Last step is default. And I told there is no default payload that we have set here, right? Payload is the value which you are setting in responses tab. So payload is now set payload also we have removed from here. So empty payload will be displayed.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
So now I am keeping on error continue. Okay. 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 Done. Even on error continue, it is the same, but it is 200. Clear, guys? It will stop there. Okay, that is for common like global error handler. Okay, just whenever, see, even if you have doubts, see, to call a successful request HTTP requester, I need some valid external URI to connect from my system. But to create error, it is very easy, right? How I am getting this connectivity issue, guys? See the URL what I have given to connect www.a.d. semicolons everything. I can raise a error, right? Raising errors is very easy, right? So just play around with that. Okay. that is try block. Next thing which I wanted to say is until successful. Okay, this is also very important thing. Okay, when it comes to, you know, why to suppose there is, so mostly until successful is used for the error types or error scenarios where you are having some connectivity issues kind of thing, right? What does until successful does? Until successful will retry internally with the given span of time which we are mentioning. Now I saw many people, they are using until successful, like they are wrapping. Now let me show here itself. Okay, to use until successful, no need to drag and drop until successful. There is an option called wrap in. Okay, I'll keep that until successful. Okay, now just observe. Now the configuration, just observe the configuration. Okay, I'll give as 3 times. Okay, 3 times and some 600 milliseconds. I don't want to wait for here. Okay, I'm saving. Now most of the guys, what they do is, so guys, until successful doesn't know anything about status codes or whatever it is. Okay, until successful doesn't know about the status codes or error. Whenever there is an error in the connector, it will retry as many number of times as it wants. So tell me this scenario. You are receiving 404 from this HTTP requester. Is it correct to retry 3 times or 5 times, guys?
No.
Even if it is like 100 times, 404 means not found means not found, right? It's not connectivity, you know, when it is up to connect and all. So most of them will face this error, correct? Even for 404, you are trying. So let me show you this. Okay, error 2. Second. Okay. Now tell me, okay, this is the first time I'm getting error. It will try for the second time. Again, it is getting error. It will try for third time because 3 given I have given error. Okay. Okay, how many times I have given? Sorry, guys, again, 1 plus 3 retries. Okay, actual time you are checking plus 3 times is the one which I have set here, right? So first time it will check. It is not a retry. It is actual try. It is max retries. If you want your HTTP requester to be called overall 3 times, then make this value as 2 because actual 1 time plus 2 retries. Okay. Now tell me, what is the error type here now? Is it HTTP connectivity? Good. Retry exhausted, correct. But your namespace is absolutely wrong, Suvidya. Namespace : identifier. Can you tell me, guys?
HTTP.
Wrong. I mean, still here it is like till here it is connectivity, but when it comes out of from until successful scope, what is the error type? Mule retry exhausted. So mule is the namespace, retry exhausted is the HTTP retry request exhausted, wrong. Okay, mule retry, Praveen, you are right. Okay, mule retry exhausted, that is your namespace. Now many of them will, so here so whatever it is, error main handling, I'm not talking about rules here, but most of them will make an error, you know, here. Assume I'm keeping type as HTTP connectivity here. Okay, clear, guys? Can you tell me the answer now? What will be the payload, guys? Rule 1 is breaking.
Default.
My default has payload. Now tell me what is the resultant payload that will be printed.
Global. For HTTP.
Let's see. Okay, I'm getting an error. Okay. 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 Error. Okay. 1 second. It is going over here before HTTP. Clear? So this is all about error handling.
Hello.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello. So.
Hello.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Global. Yes. There was a question about global error handling. Okay. So why it is not going into global error handler, that I should check, probably because I have seen this. I am not confirmed, so I am not telling you. Whenever you are, suppose if I am removing this until successful, right? Here. Okay. Or let me remove this.
No, what we want to check is, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shravan, what we want to check is,
yeah,
yeah, if there is a error, like error scenario present in the flow with some particular error, just like error 404 not found or something, custom error, and what error we are getting is not the one, so it will go to global error handler, right? Even though if it is a error present.
I didn't get your question.
Shravan, I think
So the rule is if any of the flow will be having any error handler, it will not go to default error handler. Either the condition is satisfying or not. But the error handler, if flow level error handler is available, either the condition is satisfying or not, it will never go to default error handler. In this case, now when Shravan has removed on error continue, in this case it will go to on error handler. But if you place any of the error handler over here, if you place any of the error handler over here, let's say you are receiving 404, but you haven't handled the 404 error in this scenario, still it will not go to default error handler.
Global, correct.
So it will go to default error handler in that case, right?
No. If the flow itself is having a error handler structure, either the condition is satisfying or not satisfying, it will not go to default error handler. The default error handler will only be invoked if a particular flow will not be having any of the error structure.
Correct. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So now it will go because I am not placing anything. Yeah. Hello. So I will repeat what Vipul has said. Okay. Error handler. Okay. In error handling part, if you are not giving anything, okay, then it will go to global error handler. But what if we are giving something in error handler, and though it is like, I am giving only expression, that is, so expression error, okay, though it is not correct error type, right? Though it is not correct error type, irrespective of the type of error, it will not go to global error handler. Clear?
But someone should handle the
in
error,
that
right?
case.
But if the flow doesn't have the error handling, the matching type, error type, then it should go to default. Because if the default doesn't handle it, who will handle the error? Someone should handle it.
You are the one who is coding. You have to handle that. It will go to default.
That's why it is the best practice. Whenever you are defining an error handler, you do define multiple error structures. Like one is for HTTP connectivity, one is for not found, another one is for some mule expression. And also you always define a default error handler which will accept any error expression. And that is the basic error handler.
The final one we put any, right?
Yes, final one we put any. Let's say you are having 5 types of error. These kind of 5 errors can occur. You will define different logics for them. But if there is a 6th type of error will be raised, for that you always have to provide a default error structure available.
That I can say you one example on that. Sometimes you will see mules : unknown error. Okay. In that case, so what I can do, what we can do. So basically, if you are not defining anything, that means it is any error. Okay. Clear? So here, even if I'm giving like expression error here, this is not the correct error type, right? Guys, it is not correct error type. So that's why it is not going the previous case. Okay. You can see F8, F8, F8. Okay. So now your retry, this one is, error type is mule retry exhausted, but here the type is expression. So it will stop there. And as I am setting this payload value as payload, right here, it is displaying before HTTP because it is the latest payload that I am setting. So someone was asking, what if I am not handling? That is our job, right? Error handling, right? Error is handled. We should handle such kind of errors. Okay. So as Vipul said, you should make sure that there should be one last, okay, you'll be having, this is just a small default error handler, but in default error handler, you can place many things, right? For each kind of like HTTP connectivity kind of things, where are this?
Yeah, for my question, I guess unknown will give the answer. So yeah, I got that.
What unknown? Sorry.
Error. Mule unknown error. That was my doubt actually. So
yeah, when it is unknown error, you should define any and make sure that any is at the last of the thing. Okay, not at very first place. Okay.
Okay.
Clear, guys?
Thank you.
Yeah, Shravan, I have one question. This is Mani. So can you give any idea about when condition? How we supposed to give the when kind of a thing?
Yeah.
When condition? Yeah.
Okay, I never tried when, but
yeah, I tried, Shravan. When is basically being used when you have to search for some kind of a specific keywords in your particular error scenario which you are getting. Let's say from the type you are having, the error structure is something like it's having a namespace with the error identifier, like HTTP ... semicolon, not found. It's a proper defined structure. But sometimes, let's say you are getting an error, unable to retrieve ABC value from Salesforce. Now you know some kind of a structure, unable to retrieve. It means when you have to find this substring in your particular error string, at that time we use when condition.
Okay. Requirement specific cases.
Requirement specific, yes. Okay. Requirement specific, yes.
Yeah, got it. And Shravan, I have another thing. And like, we have any kind of implementation retrieve mechanism in HTTP level, or we supposed to go with until successful only for it?
We have internal requests also. Yes, you can see here. I think in advanced option. 1 second.
But that doesn't seem to work.
That doesn't that doesn't seems to work.
In HTTP doesn't work. In other connected it works.
Correct.
General.
We should be using try until successful. Sorry.
This one usually doesn't. For me, it didn't work. We need to check on that.
Yeah,
okay.
for me also it doesn't work. We had tried it, so we went for until successful for HTTP.
Again, as I said, for 404 scenarios in those cases, right? Again, I will miss this point. Okay, in 404 or 400 series cases, it should not retry. Then what you have to do? You have to open this HTTP requester in advanced, right? Sorry, responses. You can use this response validator and say success status code validator as 200 to 499. So whatever response, even 400 series of response, what it will do is it will consider as a success scenario. It will not raise an error. Okay. Then next thing you need to handle again. Okay. 400 is like you don't want to retry it again and again. So you are handling that here. But again, 400 is an error. Then you can keep some kind of choice router over here. Can you tell me how can I find the status?
Error state.
Error will not come because it is a successful thing now. Not HTTP status, guys. Attributes, guys. You are forgetting attributes. Attributes.status code. Okay. Equal to 200 or same 201. Sometimes it will be 201 also, right? Like based upon the output way they give. So then you can keep in default. All kind of errors will go to default. Guys, can you hear me? Oh, okay. My studio got stuck. Okay. So then you can handle that. Okay. Whatever you can set that HTTP status, or you can do whatever you want. So just make sure don't retry for 400 series, business kind of errors. Only for connectivity issues we are retrying. Instead of why to send at the very first time, why we need to send our, to go to error handler and all, it is not required. So we will do those things. And there is one more thing where I wanted to tell is, what is this? Raise error. Okay. Raise error. Okay. Let me tell you this. Sorry. Okay. This is what is your payload value after HTTP. So I have some business case where I need to send as an error. Like if it is not after HTTP, I need to send like some kind of, this thing, customized exception kind of thing. For that, what I am doing is I'll keep a choice router. Okay, I'll keep a choice router over here. I'll check. Okay, I'll copy this. Guys, you can hear me, right? Sometimes I'll ask you because
Yes.
keep on speaking.
Yes.
So payload equal to this. Okay, if it is there, I'll say okay success. Okay. If not, what I wanted to do is I want to raise an error. Give your type ID, whatever I told you, right? Type is here is nothing but error type. Okay. Now guys, you cannot give type value as which is already existing. MuleSoft has this already existing types, right? HTTP, DB, WSC, AWS. You should not be using those namespaces. Your application itself will not deploy. Okay, you should give only customized namespace. Suppose matching not found, something like that. Okay, this is the customized namespace which I'm using. If I say HTTP not found, gone. Even if you are saying HTTP colon how are you, it is gone because it will check only the namespace. Okay, clear? Description you can give anything like, you know, word is not matching, something like that. Okay. Okay, now let me save this. Okay, let me keep on error continue or this thing here. Okay, put some payload over here.
I think you are evaluating the success condition, so it will not go to default.
Yes, I'll change that.
Okay,
I'll delete this. Okay. Okay, error continue. I'm handling all kind of errors. I'm saving this. Okay. Type you will see. Okay, I'll show you what happened.
And down.
Yes.
If you have the customizing exception, you need to send some status code now. Different types of error will be there. You need to show in the status also now. Then you need to set status code configure.
Your voice is very low. Sorry, can you come again?
We have in the customizing exceptions is there.
Okay.
You need to using in the rise error only, no? So
Yes.
the type of we have to give in the exception type and everything we have to give in the exception. So we have some customizing status codes also there. Some
Yes.
different type of so where we need to configure the configure.
So in the responses tab, in the error response, you will have something called status code as well. Okay, you should define one variable. Basically, whenever you are generating the flows using RAML, there you can see by default vars.http status. Okay.
Okay.
You should mention, you should keep a set variable or here with some you know. Okay, for this
set variable.
Set variable and give the, so here only I'll show you. In the next case, I'll show you that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if it is deployed. Okay, deployed. So what is this? Error 1, right? Oh, it is saying success because I have given success. Why my debugger is not working? Okay. Toggle placement. Sorry. So I'll give HTTPS. Okay. It will come here. Okay. Now you can see my error type as matching not found. As we are not giving anything here, I mean, as we are handling any kind of error here, okay, choice. Okay. Now you are saying, Shravan, I want to set some HTTP status code, right? Some customer. Say we shall give some number, okay? I'll say like go to status code over here, okay? Vars.http status. Guys, it is always better to give default values, because if you forget to give, if you forget to set HTTP status, then automatically by default at least it will give 500. Okay. So here, okay. Then I should keep some set variable here with the same name. Okay. The name should match HTTP status. Okay. Sorry. HTTP status with value as, what value can we give? 567. Okay, is that okay for you? 567, customize some status code. Okay.
No, and one more thing. I think some status codes will be there, no? Different status codes. Yeah.
That is totally upon your business, right? Your business use case, you should follow some, suppose if there is a conflict between, like user already exists, then you can give 409, not found. Okay, in this case also it is not matching, something like 404. You can define. I just wanted to tell you because it is your responsibility to define what kind of status code, because this is customized exception. So you are the person who are customizing the exception. So you should know the status code, what you want to give. I'm just telling how to do that. Okay. Oh, it is given 200. Why? Because, okay, got it. Because it might be, this is on error continue and it is continuing as telling as a success one. If we keep on error propagate, it will give. So, okay. Okay. Error. What is the value here, guys? 567. That I have said, because on error continue will treat as, okay, your error is handled and it will continue. Right? Clear?
Yes. Yes.
Can you show this again? Where did you mention 567 as error?
Here in the HTTP listener, okay, always responses tab, again and again I'm saying responses tab is very important, guys. Whatever you are getting over here, that will be there.
Okay.
Okay, you should give some name. I can give like Shravan. Okay, here I can give like Shravan. Why I'm giving HTTP status as the name is because by default when you use RAML, right, when you generate flows by RAML, that is the default name which we give. Okay, now tell me what will be the answer here. Can you tell me status code?
500 because that variable is not defined.
Correct. So make sure that you are setting it as a proper names and all these things. Okay.
Yeah, just to confirm one thing, Shravan, like this global error handler that we created is not the default one, right? Like these two are different.
That is, this is global error handling is we are defining at project level.
Application level.
Default is Mule will take care of. Default means Mule will take care of. Okay.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, guys, I think the time is 5:46. I don't want to waste any.
Shravan,
Shravan,
one last request. Can you quickly recap that default and global error handling? I'm sorry for that, but can you?
Yeah. So here only I'll tell you for the same response. Now, suppose what is your raise error, guys? You are raising the error which matching underscore blah blah blah. Yes.
Yep.
Now.
Yep.
I am not handling that error. I am giving only HTTP. And guys, your type will not be shown here. Okay. Because that is customized one. Okay. Now, as we have only one set payload value, so I'm giving like there might be chances of getting expression. So now can you tell me what will be the output? Payload value. Can anyone guess? So one, I am telling default error handler, this namespace is not matching. Okay. What will happen?
It's empty.
Empty? Can you?
No, it will go to global. Global one.
Global? No, we have discussed. People has clearly explained.
Yes.
No global.
No global. Because we have discussed, right? We have discussed. Okay.
Sure, then
it will go to Mule default error handler.
I will come to that. Okay. Mule default instance. What is the first things? What is there in responses, guys? Response.
Vas.7.
Payload.
Payload value. Body.
Yeah, payload. Yep. Payload.
Payload, right? Now, what is the payload here? No payload. But what is the incoming payload? Our incoming payload is after HTTP status. That is why it is returning as it is, and it will not go to global error handler. Reason again, I'm stressing. Reason global error handler will only go if you are not giving anything in error handling. Even if you are giving wrong type here, even if you are not handling the type, still if you are placing something in error handling, it will not go to global. Clear?
Because we already defined the exception, right? Yes, sir.
Correct.
Okay, so Shravan, one thing. In the application itself, we can make like global as a default error handling, right? We have a configuration.
That's what we have done. That's why it is going here. So there is no default kind of thing. Okay. If you want your global error handler to be taken, you have to provide this. And global error handler will not go if you are handling something at flow level. Clear?
Yep.
Now tell
The
me.
now, mainly we use the global error handling for the common issues, right? In the multiple places.
Basically in real-time projects, we will use global error handler, and we will not keep a single thing on our error handling parts, right?
Yeah.
Now, output text plain. This is what you will get by default. Okay, I'll say error dot description. Okay. Now tell me what is the output.
The description
Error
should
description
be
with the
defined in the
text.
race error.
Someone spoken about it. Okay. So now you are getting
Error
an error.
description with plain text.
About error description, word is not matching.
Not matching.
Yeah.
So here, so it says word is not matching. Now, for those who want to understand again global error handling, I am removing this on error propagator. Okay, I am saving it. Now tell me what is the value.
Whatever is there in the payload and
Global exception.
What global?
But the value
it will
will
be
be
payload that will be displayed.
error type, error description with text plain.
Yes.
Inside common error handler. Yeah.
It is very important. It will go to global error handler. Okay. It will go to global error handler, but you are setting a payload here. But still, what is the one which we have set in responses tab, guys? Error dot
common error handler.
Error dot description, right? So what is error dot description here?
Word not matching.
Word is not matching.
Word is not matching.
Okay. Why it is giving? Tell me why it is giving inside common error handler.
Because in global we have payload and
we have defined in payload.
That's right.
Not payload. See.
We are handling global level.
Error handler at flow level is missing.
Yeah, the error has been handled there.
Error is missing in flow level, so it is going to global.
No, we are using honor continue, so the error. We are using honor continue, so the error object is removed. So the success response is returned.
Because honor continue treat as like you have handled your error. So go ahead. The last scenario we shall try.
Even if we in the global handler, like in the global error handler, if we do not handle or catch any kind of error types, error handler like propagate or continue, will it be directed to default error handler of mule?
Yes, default in sense default is that's what we have given, right? Where error dot description will be the default. See, all this error object is created by MuleSoft only, right? Mule. So error dot description will be displayed. Okay. Now if you can see here, we'll come to that point. Okay. I'll show you.
Yeah.
Okay. Here. Why it is showing now word is not matching? Because on error continue will treat it as success. So once we treat it as success, the error object will be removed. Okay. So you should be playing around with all these things. Clear?
Yeah,
so now your question was saying.
Seven, I have a doubt.
Yeah.
Like when we are having an HTTP connector and let's say we are getting something like not found issue or something, we are getting a connectivity error. If that HTTP connector is wrapped in until success, at that time the error structure got changed, like error message and the description got changed.
Error type and description will be changed.
Yes. So how you will get to know what was the actual error being raised by the HTTP connector, not by the until success wrapper?
Good question. So you are saying, so for connectivity kind of thing, that's why I told, right? if you go to HTTP requester and give 200 to, response validator
Yeah.
as 200 to 499 as success, okay,
Yes.
then you can keep a choice router. There you will get the error payload which you are receiving from that API, right? Okay, that will be your payload. So now your payload value coming out of this will be error description, all those things. Then you can keep like payload.error.description, something here.
Yes.
If you keep a choice
Yes.
router, you can keep payload.error.something, because it is a successful thing, but still the payload value which it is coming from there is error, right? But internally, if there is for 500 scenario, no way this thing will go. Okay, your error type and description. So that is why I am insisting you guys to keep 200 to 499, because those are business validations that should not be read, right? Anyhow, 500 series is a connectivity issue or internal server error that you can keep here, something like that. Okay, clear?
That is the only scenario, like, or is there any other thing which we can do?
I mean, sorry, that means?
Like, is this the only possible way to handle that scenario?
Yes, because status codes are so business validations and status codes are only there for web services, right? Only web
Because in Mule 3 it was easy, but in Mule 4 it is making a bit tough because the error is getting wrapped in until success errors, and that's why we are not able to extract the actual error which are being occurred on HTTP.
But there is still an for you this thing to use this success validator, right?
Yeah, I can use this one. I'll try this one. I haven't tried it, but yeah,
you should try this, because in real time projects, if you are not doing this, if there is any 400, sometimes we will get most of the times, right? Item not found, it's not found, that not found, or bad request. Bad request also will get multiple times. There is no, it doesn't make sense if you are retrying the bad request 5 times again, right?
Right.
Correct.
I'll try this one. Yeah.
Okay. Guys, it's 5:54.
Insight on error mapping also. I mean, like if we have
error mapping. Okay. You guys have time, right?
Yeah, we do have.
Okay. So error mapping here, you can see here, you need to click. Okay. Simple thing to understand. You should check. Suppose you should check what is the type of error you are getting. Suppose I'll remove until successful for now. Okay, just to get more clarity. Okay, just keep this. Okay, I'm just worrying about, I am taking your time. That's it. If you have more time, I wanted to discuss more. Okay, save. Okay, now here, suppose you are getting connectivity kind of issue, but still if you want to map your error, route your error to different thing. Okay, now what I can say is, now what is the exception I am handling over here, guys? Expression error, right? Correct?
Right.
So what I can do is error mapping, click a place, expect what kind of error you are actually getting. You are getting HTTP connectivity, correct? Right? So I think I never tried this, but I think you can define. Okay, let me try this. Mule expression. I don't know if it is, we can just route it to existing namespaces, but I can.
Yeah, you
actually
you can do that.
No, it works this way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, yeah, we have tried this one. So it's just that we are changing the error type.
Yes. We are using in our production system and it works. Yes.
Hi, Shravan. This is Rajit Amada.
Hi, Rajit.
Yeah, it's really very good session, and also it's not so easy to cover this because we need to handle when system is not working properly. So many scenarios, hundreds of scenarios come.
Yes. But if you understand,
sometimes, the core concepts, if you understand, automatically you can handle it. I think whether I missed actually because the jockey session also going on, right? That's why I just also joined there. Just I want to check with you. Most of the time, the biggest problem with MuleSoft API-led architecture is that when you work with the single APIs, people understand, but when you have experience processing system API, if something happens to the system API, and people are facing a lot of issues, like how to propagate these errors to the different layers. Like if any errors, like just now you talked about scenarios, right? I don't know whether you covered or not. Maybe at least next scenario, we talk about what happens. Take this practical scenario when someone submits a request and it goes different layers. If any error comes in, how can you leverage this mule force and scenarios, right? Sometimes what happens, customer says, okay, whatever that happens, I don't want, I need a difference in that different errors. Some customers say, I want actual errors. See, because of error handling, if we don't handle it properly, different kind of error may propagate to the experience layer, and we don't know what exactly happened, right? I know different customers are different. Companies are actually having their own frameworks. Okay, it is only limited to their own organization because they're considering as their own IPs. But really, we should talk about that. Will be very, very useful for our community. Shravan.
Yeah, Ravi, good thing. I'll tell you in small example. Let me complete this one small thing, guys. I told that error mapping, you can see as connectivity internally is going to mule expression. As mule expression is handled, it is coming over here for someone who has asked this question. Okay, then you can go here, you can see inside error. Okay, for the question which Ravi is raising, right, when it comes to system, so API-led connectivity architecture, I work in an insurance domain. Okay, I work for a bigger client for insurance domain. Okay, so Ravi, so basically again, whatever business is asking us, we need to implement. If he's asking to do 2 + 3 = 6, we need to code like that. Agree, guys? Right? So so system layers, generally we connect to internal systems, right? Database or Salesforce, some data. We will be connecting with real-time data. Suppose if you are getting some error, right? And we are not exposing our system APIs to end users or consumers. So, but still we need to understand. Suppose we say DB connectivity or right or query execution error is there. Okay, so say something. When it is DB connectivity issue, there might be many reasons. Either your password is expired, right? Either your password is wrong, but you should know, right? If password is wrong, if you hit twice, thrice, it will be locked, isn't it? So we should have always, we follow this. Okay, this is at my project level. Again, for the customer, you should not say like, password expired, all these things. At the end, that is what we follow. We will say internal server error. Or if there is any connectivity kind of issues, if it is like expressions kind of issues, we will say internal server errors. But for connectivity kind of issues, we will give 503 as the status and say downstream systems unavailable. That is the message we will give at experience level layer. But what internally in system layers and all we will do is we need to log these details. So logging is also very important to track the kind of errors. How many of you agree with me?
Right, I agree with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So logging.
The other thing is like, as per Ravi's question, I think if the requirement is something like one client is looking for a particular error to be handled in a particular way, and the other client is asking just to provide us a raw error structure. In that case, either the business is looking like something, a particular field must be coming in a header on based on which you must be handling this incoming payload, or you are defining two different versions for two different clients, because at the same time, when you are upgrading your version or your asset, you are upgrading it, you won't be able to, attain the particular requirement from a different clients. So in that case, you must have to create different versions of your APIs.
Correct. Or different logic based upon the system who is calling you, right? Suppose we have two different kind of systems, like definitely, suppose we have to system. Yeah, you need to send the error response.
We have to cover all the scenarios.
Yeah, exactly. That's a business requirement, and I think this is just a core concept we are learning how on-error propagate, on-error continue is working. But yes, the question which Ravi has proposed, although it's a good question, in a real-time environment we also experience this kind of issues. But the point is like it has to be handled in a bigger way. It's just not with the core
if you see
functionality.
Here,
but yeah.
In the transfer message itself, you can create some mule message. See, everyone has, so this is basic kind of, we can display, error message. Okay.
Yeah,
error message.
right.
You can see something like if your system, so var dot system equal to A, send this error. Else, send different error.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So this is
some of the clients just want the error to be sent in a mail format, because in my working experience where I'm working in, sometimes we have to raise a remedy ticket in an error. sometimes we have to just log the error in a Cloud Hub notification, and sometimes we have to directly send the email to our client's distro, like this particular error has occurred in this particular functionality. So yeah, we are handling in different versioning systems, and accordingly we are maintaining different versions of all of our APIs, because we can't resist on a client's requirement. Client is giving us money, so we have to obey their requirement as well.
Correct.
Yeah, but coming to the API levels, like API-led connectivity approach, while we are working with the system API or like process API or anything, so where we are handling the errors, at system level, we'll be handling like a core system error handling. And at the process level, we will look for any errors which are like, which are not compatible with our logic, or if we are not able to connect to those systems. So in that with different layers, we will work with the different error.
When we discuss about real-time projects things also, right? When there is some connectivity error, again we won't initially tell the customer that there is internal server error. We will have some error handling mechanism to retry the same message. Sending those error messages to queue, retry them every half an hour or something like all these things will be there. So basically, what is the best practice I would say is when we are connecting with external customers or consumer, you should first send them initial acknowledgement, right? We can have kind of whenever he is sending a request, you can say, hey, your message is accepted. Then we can have our message process, whatever it is, failure or connectivity kind of things, so we can reprocess and send back them to. So we have this callback APIs and all, right? In real-time project scenarios I'm talking about. So again, it all depends upon the business, how he's asking. Okay. If he's okay to, send acknowledgement and give the response later. Suppose you are doing a payment, right? On Paytm. Okay. If there is something went wrong, he will never say directly failed, right? You're processing, it is processing. It will take some time to return. Again, if you see after, half an hour or 1 hour, it will say payment success. So that's what internally is happening. He will take your request. If something is gone wrong, what he will say is your request is in process. It will take like 3 hours or something like that. But internally, he will be doing some kind of retry things. Okay. Suppose their database is down. he can't say, our database is down. You will be worried if you are sending 1 lakh rupees to customer, your friend, and if you say database is down, you will be down. Right?
Yeah, that's a good example, I must say. Yeah, exactly. You won't be getting like what particular error or what particular issue has occurred, which is holding your payment to be directly transferred from one account to another. You're just getting, okay, your payment will be reflected within 2 to 3 hours. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, scenario based. It depends upon the domain which we are working. It might be insurance or retail or this thing. Okay. Guys, it is already 6:06. I don't want you to miss the quiz. Already a few people have missed the quiz as well. If there are any questions, okay, even people, you guys know the names right now, who is speaking and all, you can always connect to them on LinkedIn. We are always happy to help you. We have MuleSoft forum. If you have any questions, guys, before sending the questions in WhatsApp, I will always like, I request you to go ahead and post that question in helps.mulesoft.com, so that it will not only help you, it will also help other one who is facing the same issue. If you are sending in WhatsApp or in WhatsApp group is limited to 250 members. But what if the 250 first person is, having this